Hey everybody, Luna Fierce here, the Eclectic Witch, here to bring you guys a collective message this afternoon. I hope everybody's doing good today. I'm just going to clear the energy first. And I feel like spirits want me to start with this Moonology deck, so that's where we're going to begin today. It's beautiful and sunny where I am. Comment what part of the world you're from. Interested to see who's watching. Like it's been kind of a weird week. So Spirit, what would you like us to know? One message for the collective, Spirit. I'm just gonna take the one on top. You are good enough. And actually, I feel like this one wants to come out as well. Don't let your past hold you back. Any other, Spirit? One more shuffle. What do you need to release? Bring love into the situation. I'm just going to take those. I feel like whoever this is for, you've been feeling like you're been kind of questioning yourself and having some doubts about things that you're trying to accomplish or achieve. I feel like Spirit's saying all the situations and things in your past are exactly what you needed to be where you are today. And that you don't have to prove anything to anybody, that you, just because you were born, just because you're here, you are good enough. You're here to receive your blessings. You're here to experience life in a way that's beautiful and enjoyable, that brings you joy. And we're being called to release the things that we have some guilt and shame. You know, we all do things that we, regret. And I feel like Spirit's saying, don't let that hold you back. You've been through what you've been through. Your experience was how it was supposed to be. And you didn't make mistakes. There were no mistakes through any of it. You just needed to learn certain lessons. And not to don't let that don't let those feelings hold you back. You're good enough. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And don't doubt that this experience, these good things that are coming into your life, are for you. Okay. Okay. So we're kind of getting into this. Don't let your past hold you back. I already spoke on this. Yeah, we all do things. There's no right or wrong. We're just here having our human experiences. We're each part of the collective energy, and we're here just to have a human experience. And there really is, we both contain light and dark energy, and or we all contain both light and dark energy. And the thing is that our belief systems and all the things that, the way we were raised, the things that we were taught to believe and things like that have shaped us and caused us to make whatever decisions we've made. And I feel like, we've all made quote unquote mistakes, and Spirit's telling us, don't beat yourself up because of choices that you've made and things that you've allowed yourself to believe, and maybe picking people in your life that were not really for your highest and best good. But that it's okay those things happen. Those are lessons that we need to learn to evolve and grow and become our higher selves. But I feel like we've left this energy, the South Node energy. I feel like whoever this is for, you've left this energy. And Spirit knows that you're working hard to make a better life and make better decisions, and you're learning to trust yourself, and you're understanding that you can see people and things for what they are, but you just needed to find that out for yourself. And so anyway, Spirit's saying, try not to hold on to those things. Let go of the guilt and the fear and the shame, the angst, the depression that's around all that stuff, because you were meant to do that, and it's okay that you did that, and there's no punishment for doing any of that. It's just, you learned what you needed to learn out of the situation, and we're being called to keep moving forward. Okay. What do you need to release? Okay. So maybe recently you've realized that there have been people, places, situations, things in your life that are not for your highest and best good. Maybe the signs have been there, but you've wanted it so bad that you were willing to ignore the signs. But I feel like Spirit's saying it's time to let those things go, because they're holding you back from what you're meant to be doing. And so it's kind of an energy, where it's going to be emotional. And I feel like probably, as usual, this is probably a collective experience. I imagine a lot of us are feeling this right now. But Spirit's saying this is really the best time to look at those things and acknowledge them, and try to do what you can to just let it go, because you have more important things to be concerned about right now. So we're being asked to clear our energy and protect our energy and do whatever it is that you do to release your emotions. Because Spirit has things for us to do, and we have a job here. The world needs us right now. And so we just kind of got to put on our big girl and our big boy pants and realize that those things were what they were, and that we don't need to feel bad about our part in that. We don't need to feel like we failed ourselves or any of that kind of stuff. We just need to realize that they were there to show us things about ourselves that still needed to be looked at, and yeah, go ahead and forgive them and forgive yourself. And just go ahead and release all that, because it doesn't have any part of the things that are to come. That's old. That's the old timeline, and that's gone now. So it's time to just let it be what it was and keep moving forward, okay? Which brings me to bring love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius. We are in a new age, age of Aquarius. Yeah, I feel like Spirit's just really saying, stuff happens, and maybe it was a work situation that you maybe had some problems with your coworkers or whatever, or you just decided that it wasn't for you for whatever reason. You were not being asked to stay in those energies that we know we don't belong in. Spirit really does want us to get out of those situations, because he, she, whatever, has something much better planned for us, okay? But as we're leaving those situations and those people, Spirit's reminding us that we all have duality, and maybe the sides of those people, places, and things that you had a hard time with, yeah, those things existed, but Spirit's asking us to remember that those people and things, there's a reason why they had those dark sides to them. They've, maybe they haven't had loving experiences in their life. Maybe their parents weren't nice to them. Maybe they, for whatever reason, we all have reasons for why we respond and react to life events the way that we do. And I feel like Spirit's reminding us that, that we, not to judge, but if we can find forgiveness for them and realize that we're all just here doing the best we can, that we're all facing, unsurmountable tests and, nothing's perfect. It's the energy is what it is. We're all just dealing with the best way we can. A lot of us are in survival mode, and, just being in survival mode alone will cause somebody to do things that they, maybe in a different time period they wouldn't do those things, but Spirit's asking us to just try to be patient and kind and extend love if it's not going to hurt us, but we also, that's another big thing, is that we have to make sure that we're protecting our own energy, that we are important, that we should be looking at, first and foremost, we should be loving ourselves. And if we're loving ourselves, then yeah, we're not going to allow people to mistreat us and use us for things that, are not good for us, okay? And we don't want to do any of that. But at the same time, as we're releasing these people and these energies and stuff, that Spirit's just asking us to realize that, we're all part of the same collective energy, and we're all one. And can we hold space and love for others who are having maybe a harder time seeing what they need to see, and maybe send them a prayer, and because we all, the main goal is that we all want to ascend, and we all want to be loved and accepted and cared for. And So Spirit's asking us to really hold space for those that are maybe falling behind and need more prayers, regardless of how we think we should feel about them. God's asking us to look past all that and just realize that nobody's perfect, and that we can forgive and release. Okay, Spirit, how are we going from here? Looking at these crystal cards. Crystal wisdom. Who loves crystals? Comment if you love crystals. I adore crystals. Crystals are part of, like, one of the first things that I recognized my love for getting into spirituality. Actually, I was going in the crystal stores and being in that energy. Very gorgeous and beautiful. My daughter was telling me that I should do some shorts, just showing crystals and talking about their healing properties and things like that. Comment if you think that's a good idea. The first one that came out is turquoise. Find balance and healing. Let your spirit soar. Maybe we're being called to work with turquoise. I'm just going to go ahead and put this one here, but I'm not going to talk about it yet. Yeah. I feel like Spirit's just saying these things that have happened have shaped and molded you into the person that you are today, whether you feel like they were good or bad or whatever way you feel about that now. I feel like we're being asked to look at it as not bad. I feel like Spirit's asking us to find balance within ourselves and realize that, again, we all have both energies, the light and the dark within us. I'm going to pause this just for a second. All right, sorry about that. My neighbor was coming home, and it's right on the other side of my door where I'm sitting here. They got kids and stuff, so I didn't know how loud it was going to get. But yeah, just that. Also, I feel like we've been being called to balance our masculine and feminine energies. We start to tend to, focus on one side or the other. We're either driven to work, or we might be, not so driven to work and focusing more on, things that we like to do rather than things we should be doing, quote unquote. I feel like Spirit's saying, try to get your masculine and feminine in balance. Yes, you do have to do your work, but also reminding us to find the things that bring us pleasure and joy, and connecting the things that help us connect with our inner child, the things that we actually like doing. And hopefully your work is something that you like doing too, but but just not being so goal oriented all the time, but just give ourselves a chance to make sure that we're having time to feel good. Let yourself soak in the tub, for a half hour if you feel that that's what you need to do, or go for that walk and do it without feeling guilty about it. Take the nap if you need to, go out and swim in the water, or, just be in the sun, or whatever it is that you need at the time. But that finding that balance is going to help us to, first of all, start feeling better. I feel like everybody's kind of in this funk right now. You see it around you, even I noticed even driving, everybody's angry, and seems like the majority of people are just unhappy. And I feel like it's Spirit's telling me that it's because we're all so focused on getting ahead and striving for money, and the things that our society tells us is what's important. And Spirit's just reminding us that you're important. Your happiness is important. Your joy is the most important. And if you can get some balance, that you're really gonna feel better and start seeing some bigger and better things happening in your life. Let your spirit soar. Tiger's Eye coming under, don't let your past hold you back. Tiger's Eye, find courage and confidence. Let your strength guide you. Yeah. Maybe you're being called to work with Tiger's Eye. I feel like mostly this is reminding us that, those past experiences and the things that we try to keep from people, the things that we hide, our lack of authenticity about our actual experiences. You look at Facebook and everybody's happy, and we went these great places, and did all these awesome things, and my job rocks, and whatever. But we all know that. I hope you guys realize by now that that's not reality. That those are the good moments, and that's great. I'm happy for everybody. It's not like it's a bad thing to be happy or anything, and having a good experience. But I'm just saying that I feel like we all know that there are other moments that we don't put on Facebook, right? Hopefully we don't. And I feel like Spirit's saying just because we don't post them on Facebook, it doesn't mean that it's something that we need to hide from people either. Even just having an authentic conversation with somebody can make you realize that we're all going through very similar experiences. And we all have things, skeletons in our closet that is not the first thing we're going to talk about, if ever, some people. And I feel like Spirit's saying, don't be afraid to use those things to help build yourself. Maybe find the courage to, if you have somebody that you can talk to about the stuff that's you don't want to talk about. I feel like we're just, if we can let ourselves express those things, that it makes it easier to let it go. To let go of that energy. We hold on to it unless we find some way to release it, right? And I feel like Spirit's really saying here that finding a way to release that energy is going to help you find some center and balance. And you may even realize that you're not alone. and you will. You will realize that you're not alone. And just knowing that other people have been there kind of makes you feel better about it, and helps you to feel better about yourself, and maybe will give you the confidence to know that there's nothing wrong with me. And then through that, find the courage to let it go and move forward. Thank you, Spirit. What do we want to release, Spirit? Selenite, purify your spirit, cleanse your energy for new beginnings. Maybe you're being called to work with selenite. I feel like definitely we want to be things that we're realizing that don't resonate with us anymore. Maybe there's energies, well, there's energies. Everything that we're finding that is we're not resonating anymore is an energy, because everything is an energy, okay, but once you realize there are things that need to be let go of, Spirit's reminding us that do those things, let those things go, but afterwards don't forget to purify your own energy and clear your own energy. Maybe you would do this by using selenite. Maybe you would use sage or Palo Santo or a salt bath, or go for a swim in the ocean, or there's lots of ways of cleansing your energy. Okay, but I feel like Spirit is reminding us in this time that, the thing is that as you're realizing, okay, let me back up a little bit. Yes, thank you, Spirit. As we're realizing that there are these people and energies that don't have our best interests in mind, as we're releasing them, we need to understand that by releasing them, we're kind of going to be unleashing a beast, okay? Because dark energy is not going to just allow us to walk away. I feel like I spoke about this before in another reading, that as we're ascending right now, we're leaving the old timeline. And the old energies that are holding the old timeline don't want us to go. They want us to stay there and, be there. And so as we're releasing these people and energies from our lives, you need to know that there's going to be some kickback for it. And Spirit's saying, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of or anything like that. I don't want to instill fear in anyone, but I'm just saying that just know that is going to happen, okay? It's likely that that's going to happen. And Spirit's reminding us that we do, as we're doing this work, we do need to make sure that we're protecting our own energy and clearing out the old energies. Also, for our own ascension, that we need to make sure that our energy is clear. And also so that we know what to do moving forward. I think that's got the point. Bring love into the situation. New Moon in Aquarius. What did you want to say about that, Spirit? Obsidian. Release negativity. Protect your spirit with grounding energy. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Spirit's also reminding us to make sure that we're staying centered and grounded, as well as clearing our energy. And if we're doing that, it's going to be easier for us to see these old situations and stuff for what they actually are. And help us to be able to realize what needs to be released, and then also being able to release it in a loving and forgiving way. We're being called to be unconditionally loving with one another because we are one another. And again, all of us are, dealing with our experience in the best way that we can. And that we need to be doing the very best we can to be, I don't want to, not really, accepting of it, but accepting it, but not allowing it in our personal lives anymore. But that we don't have to be nasty about it. We can just release them with love. But I feel like here Spirit saying you're important too. Don't forget that, this is important work that you're doing, releasing these people and places and things, and energies in your life, because you're needed. You're important. You are enough as well. That you should be the most important person in your existence. And if you're putting other people's needs and wants and things in front of your own, then you can't give from an empty cup. So Spirit's reminding us that we have to first make sure that we're grounded and steady and stable and giving to ourselves before anyone else. Okay, even though we're all one, but we can't control what everybody else is doing. All we can control is what we're doing here for ourselves. So Spirit's reminding us that, you're going to be interacting in the 3D world with these other people and stuff like that, but try to look past the things that bother you about them. And, just make sure that you're protecting your own self, your own energy, and staying grounded yourself so that you can see the things that need to be looked at. And again, as you're releasing them, make sure that you're protecting your energy. So I am quite sure that was the message today. I hope that everybody heard what they needed to hear out of that. If anyone is interested, I am a Reiki practitioner and a life coach, and obviously I do oracle readings. If anybody's interested in a personal reading, I do have links under my channel description. I also have a link there for a product that I am affiliate marketing with called Nutrileaf. It's all natural supplements that are all natural, but they're creams and not pills. So if that's interesting to anybody, great. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like what you saw. And I just want to thank everybody for being here today. Thanks for listening. And I hope that you got what you needed. And thank you for letting me get what I needed out of this as well. All right, you guys have a great day.